we go. Last night was the final game at the Bell Center before the Canadiens go on their 4-game road trip, and you better believe it, Dobes is back. He's between the pipes, and the reasoning's pretty simple. It's because he's been giving them their best shot at winning games. I know it. You know it. My neighbor, who's got cataracts on him the size of dinner plates, he knows it. Even he was telling me about it. And last night they were hosting the Buffalo Sabres, but before we dive into this one, I just want to tell you that today's game review is brought to you by the good folks over at Miraj Trading. And you see, at MirageTrading.com, you can find a little bit of everything. You can find hockey cards, baseball cards, Pokemon cards. And if there's a hobby box that you're looking for in particular, Mirage, they probably got it. And yes, that does include the new Series 1 Upper Deck Hobby Box. So go ahead, get them while they're hot. These guys, they ship really fast. And you can find all their links in the description of today's video. But here we go. Habs, Sabres. The puck is dropped. And once again, the Canadiens, they look pretty good coming out of the gate. Look at them. Not even a minute in, and we're already witnessing a stone handorama. Ooh. We don't take that move too lightly around here. We kind of knew they were going to strike first. Nobody survives a stone handorama at puck drop and lives to talk about it. So nobody's surprised a few minutes later when Alexandre Carrier outbattles pretty much the entire Buffalo Sabres roster. He kicks this one out to Alex Newhook, who quickly gets into Demidov, who's like a laxative. He makes shit happen. He takes it hard to the net, and Oliver Kapanen bangs home the garbage, and we got a 1-goal game already. Not a bad start. And how about Cappy? I mean, there's nobody having as much of a good time in the NHL right now as Cappy. He's the leading goal scorer for all rookies. And he gets to play with this sorcerer right here every single night. That's not a bad gig. But anyway, as you can see, the Habs keep pushing. They're going to outshoot the Buffalo Sabres 14-6 during that first period, which I thought was pretty cool. And even though they only had 1 goal to show for it, that was probably one of their most dominant periods of the season. And Napoleon Dynamite here, he doesn't even know what hit him. He's not having a good week. And he doesn't want to talk about it. So now we're going to move on to the second period. And this is where something bad happens, okay? Because instead of keeping their foot on the gas, the Habs hit the brakes. Yuri Kulik, he's going to make him pay. He's going to put the Buffalo Sabres on the board, pouncing on that turnover and tying this game up at 1. And it only gets worse when Brendan Gallagher gets caught for a slash on the goaltender, Alex Lyon. Because now the Sabres get to go to work on a power play, and they're all over him all of a sudden. Now, we do got to give credit to Dobes. He looked incredible out there. He made a lot of big saves, specifically on that power play for the remainder of the second period. The Sabres, they even outshoot the Canadiens 11-4 during that frame, which makes Lindy happier than a pig in shit because his team, they've got all the momentum heading into the third period now. Or at least that's what he probably thought. Because after taking the entire second period off the Canadiens, they actually look interested in playing again. Noah Dobson is going to set up Juraj Slafkovsky for one of the easiest goals that he's ever going to score in his life. Look at that. Makes it look easy. He's got himself a tap in. Napoleon can't believe it. He's thinking about his tots. It's a 2-1 game at this point, and it gets worse for Buffalo when a few minutes later, Lane Hudson dances in, and now he's got his first goal of the season. It's a 3-1 game for the Montreal Canadiens. Surely, that's got to be enough, right? Kent Hughes, Jeff Gordon, and even evil Jeff Gordon, 3 of these guys were probably feeling a little more relaxed at this point. But unfortunately, the boys, they're not out of the woods just yet. Buffalo is relentless. Tyson Kozak. I had no idea this man even existed. But you see, this little asshole, he's going to make it interesting. He drags the Sabres back into it. He brings them within 1. And they're looking to tie it up. The Dobes chants, they begin to erupt at the Bell Center. Because this team, they needed him to step up and shut this one down for the remainder of the game. And guess what? That's exactly what he does. Even with the net empty, he was solid. He was making some really big stops out there. But do you want to know who was really clutch in the last minute of the game? How about this play right here from the captain, from Nick Suzuki? Holy shit. Look at that. He gets down, blocks a shot, clears it. And not only does he clear the zone, no. But he sets up Jake Evans for an empty net goal. Wow. Talk about Captain Clutch. That's his 10th point of the season. The Canadiens, they go on to win this game by a final score of 4-2. And if we bring up the standings, they're currently tied in points for first place in the Atlantic Division. They're tied with the Detroit Red Wings, who lost just one game so far this season. And it was against the Canadiens. Just thought I'd bring that up. But what a big bounce back game that was for the boys last night. I thought, aside from that second period, they looked really good in this one. I just want to say that Noah Dobson has been such a big add to the blue line heading into this season. Kent Hughes never just went out and got a body. I mean, he went out and added exactly what the Canadiens were looking for. That big, skilled, right-shot defenseman was definitely needed. And Hughes, he brought in the perfect guy for the job. I'm really happy with him. And I don't know about you, but sometimes I think about how the Canadiens are going to look when eventually he goes out and finds that legitimate second-line centerman. Man, they're going to be terrifying. But ladies and gentlemen, the next few games, they're going to be quite telling, okay? We're about to get to an interesting part of the schedule. They're packing their bags. They're going out west. That's right, a western road trip is upon us. And they're going to start things off with back-to-back games. One of them is going to be against the Calgary Flames on Wednesday, and the other one, of course, is going to be against the Edmonton Oilers on Thursday. And if there's one thing that I've noticed over the years, these western road trips, they're never easy. And I've seen it firsthand. You see, a long time ago, I used to live in Alberta in a little town called Elk Point, and every year I'd get tickets to go watch the Habs and Oilers play, and let's just say I didn't get to see a whole lot of wins. It felt like every single time they'd get smoked. It was a curse. So this is going to be a pretty big test. This team is different. It just seems like they're in such a good headspace right now. They're a tight-knit group. I think this road trip is going to do them good. But I do expect to see a lot of conversation on how the goaltending situation is going to go on the road. On Wednesday night, does Marty go right back to Dobes? Because that's probably what I'd do. I'd give him the start. He's earned it. Personally, I'd let Samuel Montembeault play against the Oilers. Maybe he even looks better when he comes back. Who knows? Maybe that's exactly what he needed, a little bit of rest. But that's what I'd do. Dobes between the pipes against the Calgary Flames. But man, I love how this team is looking right now. Even with Bang, Ding, and Ow out of the lineup, they've been showing up, and they've been very entertaining to watch. So that's going to do it for today's video. Now I want you to let me know how you feel down in the comments section. How do you feel about Dobes? How do you feel about Dobson? I want to hear all about it. Don't forget to give that like button a figure 4 leg lock before you leave here. And hey, I'll see you next time.